Alright, in this video I'm going to talk about a dysfunctional family situation, kind of, and well, you'll see, and see if you can relate to it or switch around somehow that you can relate to. And it concerns a nieces, your sisters. Let's say this is a hypothetical fictional kind of story, so let's say your sister's daughter, your niece. Okay, you may have more than one sister or brother or whatever, but more niece, but just say one of them's daughter. Sorry, I had to delete a clip because my radio, I accidentally touched my radio, so it went off. But anyway, I was saying that I'm going to set up a scene that's a hypothetical, fictional kind of scene, and where the niece is an adult and she's married, and see what you think. What would you do? What would you think you would do? We never really know what we would do until we're in it, really, has been my experience in life. Here's the scene. You and your sister, you're both, old enough to have children who are adults and are married. And you go have lunch together at a mall. Those old-fashioned things, And this one, I don't even know of any malls that exist here except for outdoor malls. But this is one that's where you're inside. And so you go to this nice restaurant inside. You live in a small area. It's not a big metro area. And you go into this restaurant and they sit you next to the window that shows, that's next to the inside of the mall. So you can see people inside the mall walking around. And you like it. You like to people watch. You're a people watcher, not a creepy people watcher, just a people watcher. Now your sister does this annoying thing of texting while she's sitting there at the table with you. And so, whatever. That's how you feel about it. Whatever. And you just gaze out the window and watch people walk by. And when you do, you're looking out there and she's texting. She's not paying any attention. Well, you see her daughters, your niece's husband with another woman walking by. Okay, so that's your sister's daughter's husband. This is not a country and western song. So you do the thing that first comes to your mind, and that is to try to get your sister's attention, but you're not sure. You're not certain if that's him, but as it is, he's kind of strolling along with this woman, and he's got his hand around her, and you try to think, things like, well, maybe it's his sister. You don't even know if he has a sister. You try to think that, that it's not the worst case in this, scenario thing. But anyway, so you try, but at the same time, okay. So, and then they're kind of like strolling along, and they sit down, and you're sitting right there seeing them, and he kisses her. So you know it's not innocent, and it's him because you get a better look at him, and yeah, that's your niece's husband. Okay, so you try to get your sister's attention. She's sitting right there at the table with you, and the window's right there. But she's being stubborn. She's got her head stuck, glued to her cell phone, texting. And so you see it. You want to tell her. You try to tell her, but nope. She's not, just doing the thing like shh, be quiet and all this kind of stuff. And anyway, whenever finally she looks up, they're gone. Okay, she looks up from her phone, and you tell her what you saw. Now, some people will debate on that, whether you tell even the mother, anybody. Some say no, some say yes. Well, there's also a level of danger there, and there's always a level of danger in something like this. So yeah, the question is, should you tell or not? But there's also that of, if you don't tell, later on down the line, if somebody finds out that you knew, like your niece finds out that you knew, and you hadn't warned her, you hadn't told her, and she could have prepared to leave or something different, or to kick him out, get him kicked out, if you would have told her, so you might pay a price either way you go. Personally, I would tell. Yes, I would forewarn her. I would tell her mother, or I would tell her directly, or go with her mother when we tell her, my niece, her daughter. So, yeah, I would. But some people wouldn't. Okay, now what would you do? What do you think you would do, and why do you think you would do it or not do it? Right, now, the dysfunctional family in this is what? Exactly. It's the niece and her husband. Your niece, her husband. Yeah, your sister's daughter's husband. Yeah. Well, he is the one that's causing the problem, but it's making for a dysfunctional family. And now, a lot of people think that in order to be a dysfunctional family, that is a family unit, the husband and wife. Okay. Now, to be that, you have to come from that. Not necessarily. No, it can be that he was. I don't think that I really don't think that you have to come from a dysfunctional family to be in a dysfunctional family, to develop a functional family, to keep the family tradition going. I'd say it's a high percentage. I don't have any research in front of my face, but yeah, I would still say it's a high percentage. And there also might be some kind of addiction, possibly, somewhere in the family line. It doesn't mean it's the generations that are alive. It could have been the generations that from the past, and they've developed dysfunctional behaviors, and they were passed down. Okay, there's a lot of different varieties that could happen, of course. It's very seldom that every family situation is the same. All kinds of family units too. You would run into a problem, of course. There are all kinds of problems you can run into, such as if you think you should tell the niece, but her mother doesn't, your sister, she doesn't. Or you don't want to tell her and tell the niece, but your sister wants to tell her daughter, her daughter, your niece. All kinds of different things that could come from all that, especially if you both disagree, really. If you both disagree, with one another on how to, why to, not even just the fact of doing it, but of how to, and what you think that she should do. And some people would say, I guess kind of said earlier, that it's none of your business. I really don't like that idea. Unless there's some really big problem between, like you or your sister with that, that your niece, her daughter, I'm going to keep saying it that way, then I don't see any reason why not to, unless you're really afraid of her life. But at the same time, you see, yeah, it's not as easy and clear-cut, and plus people can be dangerous. The guy could be dangerous. Who knows? The niece might take it out on you. You never know. And she might not believe you. That might cause such a bad problem between, a rift between you and her, or her mother. Because sometimes people, I would think, do not want to believe that their significant other, whether it's husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, they just don't want to believe it, and when they attack they kill the messenger. Okay, they shoot the messenger. Some people say shoot the messenger, some say kill the messenger. But yeah, because they don't want to believe it. It's such a shock to them. So, what are you going to prepare yourself for if you do? You do need to prepare yourself for what could possibly happen. And when you tell, or if you don't tell. Because like I said, if she finds out you didn't tell and you knew all along, yeah, it could be bad. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. If you have a view on it, you care to share, leave below. And leave more detail. People will leave me comments, but they don't leave much detail. And they'll just say yes. I don't think this is a yes or no question. Anyway, you get the gist. Okay, I'm wrapping it up.